It's Paul Marsh here on Express. Delighted to say that I've been joined by Charlotte Coburn. Charlotte, thank you very much for joining me.
Thanks so much for having me.
So, you are the writer and creator of a new comedy thriller, which is going to launch exclusively on Prime Video in the UK and Ireland on the 1st of March. You must be very excited.
Oh my God, there are absolutely no words. I can't believe it's happening, but I'm very happy that it is happening.
Right. So, I'm going to do the generic tell me about the show question, but I'm actually really genuinely interested to hear the answer because, wow, the TV show throws you in so many different directions. I want to hear your take on it.
Oh man, well, first of all, thank you. That's very exciting to hear. So how to describe Dead Hot? The story, we follow Jess and Elliot. They have a shared loss in Peter, who was Jess's twin brother and Elliot's former lover. And now we're 5 years past that. Elliot's finally starting to move on. He goes on a great date, and all of a sudden, all this wild stuff starts to happen, and they realize that the questions they had for 5 years about Peter might be closer than they thought. Oh, I forgot to mention that Peter left behind a severed finger and a puddle of blood, so there's that element to it. So we know he didn't just run off and is having a good old time. Something bad. He is fingerless somewhere, or whether it's in the ground or out in the world.
Yeah. Well, look, I won't, without sort of giving away any spoilers, I'll tell you where I am at the moment. Last night I watched episode 5, so I got to the end of episode
Oh
5,
my gosh, you're deep in it.
and I jaw hit the floor, and I'm like, "What the? Who the? How? Oh,
Oh my God. I know that episode 5 ender is my siblings got to watch it and they all text me. They're like, "You're sick. You're messed up." Thanks, guys.
so you had the UK premiere last night in Liverpool. How did that go?
Oh my God, it went really well. We had a lot of students in the audience and they were laughing at all the right parts and even parts I didn't know that people would be laughing at. They really seemed to appreciate some of the text, the double texting of a first date. They were cringing out loud, which is exactly what you want to hear. But yeah, no, I'm really happy with how it went and with how it's being received.
It feels like a very young show. Was that always your intention to really capture the youth of today?
Yeah, absolutely. When I wrote the first draft, I was I was a little more youthful. I was 25. I'm 29 now. Not 30, 29. Um, I got one more month of the having a two in front. Um, so yeah, I was just trying to write a story that felt like a world that, my friends and I live in and how we'd react to thriller moments and, the kind of mysteries that we could get ourselves wrapped up in. So yeah, back in my youth, a couple of years ago, was it 3 years ago, four? I don't know, very recently, but
Now, obviously, after working on various projects with your dad, how much pressure was there for you to do this one on your own?
I didn't really feel the pressure. I felt more like the excitement to kind of get to, do a story and my tone and with my voice. And I love working on shows with him. It's always a blast. But you're writing an episode that has to be cohesive with anywhere between like 2 to 4 other writers. So getting to just, go totally wild on the page was very, very exciting.
Now, you didn't direct this. You're the writer and the creator. I know that you didn't direct it. I know that were you there on a daily basis? How much kind of input did you have on this?
Yes, I was there on a daily basis and talking to the directors a lot. Of course, like letting them do their thing and the way they brought certain things to life is better than I ever could have imagined. But I was involved in pretty much every aspect. My favorite part to be involved in was all the graphics, like making sure the texts, like I'm like, we wouldn't text like that. That's not the right emoji. So that was really fun to work on. But yeah, no, definitely very hands-on.
I always think it's very interesting when you're making anything like a TV show or a movie or whatever it is, because if you're an actor or the director, you have real hands-on right the way throughout the process. You are able to change things when you need to change things. I always think it's very interesting with writers. Obviously, you've written this script, you have it in your head how it's going to look and how it should be. And then if you're not involved in the day-to-day project, when you see that finished product, Are you happy with it? Are you not happy with it? Do you think, well, I like it, but it's not how I envisaged it going? When you see that final product, what's it like compared to the start of the journey?
Sometimes it comes out in a way you aren't expecting for sure. And with this team though, on Dead Hot, like there were some days, I wasn't there. And the directors we had Sam Arbor for Block One and David Sant for Block Two. And they I just like trust them with my life literally. And they everything they made, like you have a lot of conversations beforehand, but they really delivered and were so creative and so funny. In previous shows, yes, and it's not always how you picture, but being on set definitely helped make it a little closer for sure.
Now, the cast is phenomenal.
Oh my God,
Right?
they pop off. I love them.
Did you have a wish list? How involved were you? How did the casting begin?
Yeah, was super involved in the casting. We had an amazing casting director, Ree McDade-Wren, and they just, oh my, the people they found. So it was myself, Sam Arbor, the director, and Laurie Kirkham, the producer, and then Nicholas Schindler, the other executive producer. And it's just like watching tape after tape after tape. And I think we had like, oh my, there were so many for Jess and Elliot, and a lot of the characters like you watch these tapes, you're like, oh my God, I love that person. They'd be perfect for like this role. Like, for example, the character who play Marcus, who plays Will, tried out for Elliot. And I was like, oh my God, like he's gotta be Will. He's so just like lovable and charming and handsome and just perfect. And yeah, I mean, in terms of like, Penelope Wilton and Peter Serafinowicz, like they were, at the top of the wish list. So it was very exciting to have them say yes and get to do
I
it.
would imagine that's really difficult I mean, obviously, luckily enough, your name carries a little bit of a little bit of cachet with it, doesn't it? So that, if it lands on somebody's doorstep, they're going to certainly acknowledge it and read it and everything else like that. But when you have a wish list of actors, it must be very nerve-wracking to think, this I envisage this person playing this role, and if they say no, I don't know what we're going to do.
I know. Thankfully, I'm not too involved in the like proposal of it all. I don't have to be like upfront there if there's any rejection. But yeah, no, it's definitely nerve-wracking and you're checking your email constantly like, "Oh my God, what did Penelope's people say?" And it was a dream come true to have them say,
Um, no, I'll be honest. I hadn't seen Bilal in anything he'd done before, but I thought he was absolutely great in this.
"He's
But I'm
so good. I
very,
can't."
I know, right?
I'm like obsessed with watching him.
But I absolutely loved Vivian in Rye Lane. I thought
Yeah.
Vivian is just phenomenal in Rye Lane,
He's so
and I thought
talented.
that she carried a lot of that over into this.
Absolutely. I remember we had put the offer out for Vivian to play Jess, and I went to go see Rylane as we were waiting for her response. And I was like, oh my God, if she says no at this point, like I'm gonna be totally shattered. She's just, oh my God, the talent that that girl has is she can make anything sound so real. Like certain lines that I like read it on the page and I'm like, oh, is this a little too like earnest? And she would just find a way to say it. And I'm like, no, that was, oh my God. She's so genuine and she approaches the lines in a way that you don't always like envision, but it's always better. So I'm so happy that to work with her. And she's just like a great person off screen too.
She's got so much personality,
Oh
so much
yeah,
personality.
she's so great. She's very special.
Now, where did the decision come to film in Liverpool? Because it has some Liverpudlian characters in it, but a lot of the main characters appear to be from the south, maybe the London area. So, how did that all come about?
So the first draft of the first episode I wrote took place in New York just because that's where I live and that's what I know. And then when I teamed up with Nicola and Key Street, she had the idea of Liverpool just because it's a really like youthful, happening city. And I think it was just like the perfect world for it. There's, we got the universities there, so there's a lot of people from all over the UK. And just a really like campy, happy, genuine energy from the Scouse people. And yeah, I love the Scouse. They're great.
Now, I read another interview with Peter. I've spoken to Peter before. He's a lovely, lovely man. Um,
Awesome.
I didn't realize about, his Liverpool roots, because obviously, again, when you see him in his various different incarnations, he either plays, a Southerner or an American. So I had no idea about his Liverpudlian roots either.
I, I didn't either till, we were doing the casting and it was like, oh my God, even better, Like separately from him being Scouse, it was Peter Serafinowicz would be perfect for this. And then that on top of it, it was like, we got that edge. Hopefully he'll say yes now. But and he did. And yeah, he's great.
Now, I know that these two things were probably filmed at roughly the same time, so I know that you've had no influence from this whatsoever, but I got some real Saltburn vibes from this actually, with
Oh my
with
God,
the
thank
kind of
you.
with the secret society elitism kind of thing. I got some real Saltburn vibes from it.
Oh, I really really loved Saltburn, so thank you for saying that. Yeah, no, that was a wild movie and I enjoyed it a lot. We didn't have any bathtubs in this one, but maybe see.
Now,
No.
it's probably the only thing missing, to be fair.
I know, like dang.
Mental note for next time: bathtubs needed.
Exactly. Bathtub licking, check.
And well, I haven't seen the last episode, so maybe if there's a Barry Keoghan kind of dance at the end, I will see that maybe when it's coming.
I know Murder on the Dance Floor is how we close out too. It's unbelievable. But
Now you mentioned that it is produced by Key Street Productions. Where did the link come with it? How did they come on board?
so Nicola and I have worked together on the previous Netflix shows. She produced all those and I sent her this script just kind of being like, "Oh, what do you think of this?" And she was like, "Let's get this made." And she did. And I love Key Street. The people that she finds to work in her office, like the script executive I work with, Charlie Quinn, and script editor Hannah Collins, they were like, oh my God, like therapists slash God slash like mother and father. And I just adore them. And she really, I love Key Street. I would love to just work with them for the rest of my life if they'll have me.
Is
But
there? I know that we haven't. Dead Hot is not even technically out at the moment as we speak. Is there anything in the pipeline that you can tell us? What's the next project that you're going to be working on?
I would love to get to keep telling the Dead Hot story. We have some ideas for a possible
Okay,
season two. And I just
okay.
love these characters, and there's so many ways you can go with them. So, hopefully we get to do that. Otherwise, there's always like, I got my document full of ideas and I'm ready to pop off on one of them if I get the chance.
Well, like I say, I'm only 5 episodes in at the moment, so I've got a couple more
That's
to
a
go yet.
lot. That's,
I
almost
well,
all.
again, it was fully binge worthy. I started it on Sunday. I did 3 or 4 episodes Sunday, and I did 1 or 2 last night. So
That's so
yeah.
sweet. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad that you're enjoying it. And wow. Oh my God. Episode 6 is a wild ride for sure.
Oh
Lots
right, well,
of stuff
there's
going on.
there's the hook. There's the hook right there. The thing is, when we do these interviews, we interview so many people and we get sent so many series, and sometimes you'll only get to watch maybe an episode or two, and then you just never get to finish them because there are so many other things that you have to do.
A lot of content out there.
Absolutely 100% something that I need to finish.
Oh my God, thank you. I love to hear that. I hope you'll get the answers to everything too. I will not leave you hanging. I don't believe in that. Morally against it. You will get everything.
Good, good. There's nothing worse than getting to the end of a series and going, what the, but what about the, how did the,
I know. It's, oh my God. It's like blue balls, just horrible. You can't do that.
Charlotte, thank you so much for talking to me. I really, really do
Thank
appreciate
you,
it.
Paul. It's so
Uh,
nice meeting you.
Now, Prime members are going to be able to watch all episodes of Dead Hot anywhere and anytime on the Prime Video app. And as I mentioned at the start, the comedy thriller Dead Hot is going to launch exclusively on Prime Video in the UK and Ireland on the 1st of March. Charlotte, I wish you nothing but the best of success with it. It is absolutely fantastic.
Thank you so much. That is like so nice. I really appreciate it.